So my name is Katja Clark and I am the course coordinator for Curtin's nutrition degrees. So in my experience, some nutrition students are absolutely certain where they want to take their career, and the academic staff are here to help them to develop their confidence and their skills in nutrition. But there's always a cluster of students who are not certain where they want to take their degree. So between myself and the nutrition course team, we can share all of our experience that we have in our careers and our professional networks too. But a key reason that we engaged with Curtin Careers was to help nutrition students to explore careers more methodically.
I'm Cara Jane Lombard and I coordinate the Bachelor of Communications in Humanities. And when Stu and I first started talking, we were thinking about doing something for each year of the degree. So we were trying to tailor something for where students were at in their particular journey and where they might be in terms of thinking about their future careers. So it's changed, it's evolved, we've added a lot of things over the last 7 or 8 years.
So for several years, Curtin Careers have been involved in delivering content throughout our course about careers. And I actually had thought that this was the sort of content that was useful at the end of a degree, when students were about to graduate, either prepare a resume or think about entering the workforce or whether they did postgraduate studies. And after our last comprehensive course review feedback, I started working with Rindla to strategically embed careers all throughout the nutrition degree. These tools help students see that there are a lot of possibilities for careers in nutrition. And for me as an academic, this really takes the pressure off, because students would often look to me for career guidance, and I can only share what I know and what I see in my professional networks. And so using these resources helps students to explore careers for themselves and also think flexibly about careers, and that you will need to be adaptable when thinking about moving forward in your career.
But what we did initially was we had a workshop or /lecture at the end of semester in one of the first year core units. So Stuart would come in and do a workshop with the students, basically looking at career pathways, career options, and also they were given some really great tools, great strategies that they could use for decision making, which was, I think, a really great starting point. In second year, Stuart ended up doing an extracurricular workshop with the students that was focused on getting to know the industry, so getting to know media and comms, and also about making the connections between what you're studying and occupations and employers as well, which seems silly, but is actually so useful for the Bachelor of Communications because it's such a broad degree. So it's often quite challenging for them to kind of make that connection between what they're studying and where they're going to end up. When we introduced the capstone unit in the third year, so students do that in their final semester of the degree, I knew that I wanted to have a week on careers, but it actually ended up being so much more than that. So Stuart and I had a lot of discussions about that. He ended up doing a workshop in one of the classes, but also gave me so many resources and so much information that I could add to some of the other topics across the semester. The next thing that happened was the Career Development Learning Framework was introduced. And so when that came about, we had a really close look at the degree as a whole, and we looked at how we could embed career development learning across the core units in a more kind of sustained way, and also kind of staggering it so that they kind of have the steps that they need. And that was super interesting. I think Stuart really helped me see the potential in units, because some of them I was looking at and I thought, no, we can't add anything careers based in that unit, or we can't do anything with those assessments. But Stuart really helped me see the potential in the units where we could add pieces related to careers, and also how we could sometimes even just tweak assignments in a very small way to add something that will be relevant for students. We've had really amazing feedback from students. So I guess some of the things that I have just noticed myself is that students are so much more confident in their careers. And so just seeing them at the end of semester, knowing that they have the skills that employers are looking for, that they know how to do a job application now, that they're confident in themselves, they're proactive, they go and ask people, can I do an internship, or can I shadow somebody for a day So just seeing that kind of change is really inspiring. And one of the most recent pieces of feedback I got from a student who graduated 2 years ago was that he said he directly attributed his current job and career to the capstone unit and what he learned in that workshop.
I think students find it reassuring to know that there are resources to help guide them, but also find it reassuring that not everyone knows where they want to go with their career. Not everyone is so certain, so having a framework is really useful.
I think apart from the obvious benefits to students, we've also noticed some really interesting benefits, especially with core units. You know, students often feel that those are units that don't have a lot of relevance to their degree, aren't very practical, and I think adding the career development learning really helps them see the relevance. It's made students much more confident, much more adaptable, they have much more agency. I think at a course level, I'm seeing students graduating so much more ability to kind of believe in themselves and to do well in their careers. And just looking at the employment benchmarking that's been done with our degree compared to other degrees, the last few years we've actually been slightly above the sector, and we are on par with all above universities like RMIT, which are highly considered in terms of their communications degree.
So for students who are uncertain about their career, I feel like having a career development framework is reassuring, and working with a trained career professional really helps us to demystify careers and to help students explore careers in nutrition methodically and optimistically.
I think it's super exciting that this is a space that's always changing. We haven't just kept things the same over the last few years, so we're always thinking about something new. Because the degree is taught in the offshore campuses as well, Stuart and I have talked a lot about how to tailor things to the global campuses. So I think that's something that we'll probably focus on in the future, and just all the kind of changes in terms of AI and what that might mean.